Tonight, with fishing opener just days away, Wisconsin resorts are preparing for what's expected to be a very different year due to COVID-19.
Plus, the VP is in Minnesota, what he's hoping to take back to Washington after visiting one of the state's top clinics to learn how they're handling the coronavirus.
And help for veterans. That's the goal of a new grant in Minnesota, but it hasn't come without problems as massive amounts of applications come in.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Vaki.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. Fishing opener usually means big business for resorts on Wisconsin's lakes.
But this year, it's a much different story, as some resorts report not a single guest. CBS3's Ryan Campos spoke with a resort owner in Hayward and has the story.
Yeah, Kristen and Tony, Lisa Welter, owner of Four Seasons Resort here behind me, says she has had many cancellations and there is actually no one scheduled here for fishing weekend. Welter says that's never the case for her resort on opening fishing weekend. She's owned the Four Seasons for 23 years now. She tells me the whole month of April and during Wisconsin's safer at home order, they haven't had a single person stay at the resort. She also estimates she's losing about $33,000 a month.
It's just the weirdest thing you could ever imagine. We've been here for 23 years. It's beyond anything we could imagine. You know, we serve to-go food on Friday and Saturday nights. We come out here after the kitchen's closed and there's nobody in the bar and there's not a car in the parking lot. It's very strange.
Welter adds they have already started to see cancellations into July, and she's hopeful this ends sooner rather than later. Now coming up tonight at 10, we'll have much more on the financial impact Wisconsin resorts are expecting to see this weekend.
Thanks, Ryan. With that said, we'll turn to Dave for a quick look at the weather. Dave, would have not been a very fun day to be out on a lake today.
Well, that's all a person's matter of opinion. Some like to be out in foul weather, especially those hard-working coasties around our part of the country here. There's a little bit of adventure to it, but yeah, in general, it's much better to be on calm seas and with a sunny sky, but you can't get that every day. Starting tomorrow, we probably will for several days, but now the clouds are up and the rain is coming down. And some towns are getting more than others. So let's look at how much has come down so far from this system. That just might stick around through tomorrow morning. North and west of Duluth, probably not much at all has come across for places like Grand Rapids or International Falls. But here in the Twin Ports, we've hit 1/3 of an inch, half-inch toward Solon Springs and 3/4 around the Hayward region. Tomorrow, though, this rain should end fairly early, and then the rest of the day will be covered by a slow clearing process, which could culminate in some sunshine by the afternoon, high temp back into the 50s. Then once we get into Wednesday afternoon, yeah, for several days following, could be pretty sunny and mildly warm as well. We'll look at that 7-day forecast together in just a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Vice President Mike Pence visited the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota Tuesday to speak with officials about the state's progress in COVID-19 test production and plasma donations. Part of the reason for the stop was to learn about the state's partnership with Mayo Clinic and the University of Minnesota to expand testing for COVID-19. The Mayo Clinic has been doing research on blood plasma from survivors, which has shown promise as a potential therapy for COVID patients. Pence also visited a coronavirus testing lab and learned about its capabilities.
We knew that this was the right state and the right time to come and celebrate what the president likes to call a whole of America approach.
He was accompanied by the FDA Commissioner, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, and the Mayo Clinic President and CEO.
Wisconsin's National Guard continues to help in the fight against COVID-19. Major General Paul Knapp, Wisconsin's Adjutant General, says more than 1,000 soldiers and airmen are helping. To coincide with the Badger Bounce Back Plan, they're setting up testing sites in correctional facilities, senior living facilities, and other organizations. They're also distributing PPE shipments around the state. Knapp says he's proud of those putting in the extra work to make sure Wisconsin can reopen safely.
I'm extremely pleased with the soldiers and airmen who have played such a vital role in this response. I am equally proud of our State Emergency Operations Center, where members of Wisconsin Emergency Management are working hard behind the scenes.
Knapp says yesterday Wisconsin welcomed home about 150 soldiers returning from Afghanistan. The 128th Infantry Battalion is based in Eau Claire. Their return was not due to COVID-19.
Dozens of Wisconsin state parks and rec areas can reopen Friday. The parks, mostly in the southern part of the state, were closed for 3 weeks to prevent spreading COVID-19. We have much more on regulations for all Wisconsin state park and rec areas on our website, CBS3Duluth.com, and on the CBS3 mobile app.
State health leaders commented on Minnesota's largest one-day confirmed case jump date to date. The total went up by more than 365 cases in the last day. State health experts say it's due to the fact that anyone with symptoms can now be tested. Before Minnesota Governor Tim Walz announced the expanded testing qualification, the state was testing about 900 people per day. Today, state health leaders say they're up to about 2,400. Their goal is to get to 20,000 tests per day. Experts say that will take time. Here's a quick look at the number of coronavirus cases in our area. In Michigan, the state has 39,000 cases with more than 3,500 deaths. In Wisconsin, there are now 6,300 cases with 300 deaths. Minnesota has nearly 4,200 cases with 301 deaths. Worldwide, there are more than 3 million cases and nearly 1 million recoveries.
Minnesota's Department of Veterans Affairs is urging people to have patience as they work to process grant applications for veterans who have been affected by COVID-19. Earlier this month, $6.2 million in financial assistance was made available for veterans through grants. Brad Lindsay with Minnesota's Department of Veterans Affairs says their website was not set up for the online application process before COVID-19 hit. So they had to think fast to give veterans the assistance they need. They created a portal online where veterans who qualify for assistance can upload the documents the state needs to validate their applications. Lindsay says they've received a lot.
Within a very short time, we have far exceeded our normal workload.
Since the program launched at the beginning of the month, they've validated about 2,000 applications and started sending out grant funding on April 6th.
New at 6, problems could be on the horizon for homeowners who rely on propane for heating their homes. According to Ryan Gunderson, president of Superior Fuel in Duluth, COVID-19 has drastically reduced the demand for oil and its byproducts like gasoline, diesel, and propane, mostly due to a decrease in travel. The reduced demand means it isn't cost-effective for oil companies to produce, which may cause problems for propane prices come wintertime.
Because of the cost of product right now, they're actually losing money producing oil in the wells, so they're actually stopping drilling out in the Bakken. They've essentially shut in wells. They're no longer drilling for oil, and that's our fears. In the long term, it will lead to higher prices.
Coming up tonight at 10, Gunderson shares some tips on how you can prepare for a possible propane price spike.
Canadian National Railway will have to pay more than $1 million settlement stemming from a 2016 forest fire in St. Louis County. The wildfire burned more than 970 acres in the town of Skibo, east of Hoyt Lakes. A third of the acreage was within the Superior National Forest. The U.S. Attorney's Office alleges a railroad locomotive that experienced, quote, a mechanical failure started the fire. It cost more than $1.5 million to fight the fire, which threatened the nearby city of Hoyt Lakes and forced several residents in the small community of Skibo to evacuate. CN did not immediately respond to a request for comment.
Construction has begun on a sewer system in Canal Park. Crews are making improvements to the Canal Park Drive sanitary sewer. They'll be restoring the sewage pipe. Limited excavation is required for the project. Work is scheduled until the end of May.
Duluth-Denfeld has a new principal. District officials chose Tom Tuskin for the job. Tuskin previously held a handful of other roles at the high school, including assistant principal and dean of students. He'll begin his new position in August. He takes over after former principal Tanya Sconiers was fired from the Duluth School District last summer. She's since filed a lawsuit against the district, claiming she was fired for speaking out against district administrators. Lori Knapp came out of retirement to serve as Denfeld's interim principal.
A champion for the Northland's indigenous community has died. Dr. Robert Paulus was a prominent educator. He helped build the Native American Studies program at several colleges, including UMD and St. Scholastica. He also volunteered with many local organizations, including those representing minority communities. Paulus died on Saturday. No word on what caused his death. Just coming up tonight at 10, those who knew Paulus best will share much more about his impact on our entire community.
A former candidate for Wisconsin State Senate has started up a new campaign. James Bolin is running for the Wisconsin State Assembly. The Republican is hoping to represent the 74th district, which includes the Bayfield area at the state capitol. He also manages a resort and serves on an economic development board in Bayfield County. Democrat Beth Myers currently holds the seat. No word if she's running for re-election. Still to come, April is Child Abuse Awareness Month, and one survivor is speaking out in hopes of reaching those who may be struggling to let them know they are not alone.
Plus, Dave will be in next to tell us when the clouds will clear and the warmer temperatures will return.
Live, local, CBS3 News at 6 with Kristen Baki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS3.
The nursing program at Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College is really challenging, but it has to be. It's approved by the Board of Nursing. And graduates here have been successfully passing the state board exam. They give you real-world experience with healthcare institutions across the community. I'm really glad I chose Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College.
Tuesday! Taco Tuesday is calling. Save on seasoned beef tacos every Tuesday at Taco John's. Taco John's. See you in the drive-thru.
When severe weather hits, tune to CBS3.
Tonight at 10, we'll be out here in the storm.
For up-to-date coverage morning and night.
Stay away from here.
Live local weather coverage on CBS3 Duluth.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
I want people to tune in, and I want them to see a friend, because I'm a mother and I know how hard it could be. You're doing all these things and then you have the child and then no one talks to you about how lonely it can be. You know, who do you lean to? Who do you connect with? This segment is very important to me because I get to work, but I also get to work on my passion.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with Leanne Valdez on CBS3.
Come on down for big laughs. Hello, everybody. I like those glasses.
Trying to imitate you.
Come on down for rip-roaring fun. Amazing. You made it. Come on down for spectacular surprises. $35,000. Just won $200,000. Oh, yeah. It's a new car. You need this in your life. Yes. Boy, is it going to be a good hour. The Price is Right. Weekday CBS Daytime.
I chose a career that isn't easy, it's dangerous, and it's hard. Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College has set me up with everything I need to succeed. Through challenging classes, longer defensive tactics training, and instructors who work in the industry, Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College is setting me up for success.
Unknown assailant wanted for double homicide and kidnapping.
He has the upper hand here. Once we put someone on the most wanted list, they stay there until they're caught or they're dead.
Oh my God.
Dungeon on wheels.
The guy who would build this, he'll never stop.
Let's find him.
New FBI Most Wanted, tonight 10/9 Central on CBS.
Hey, it's Jeff from Survivor. I'm at home safe with my family, but on Survivor, things are heating up. Could just be the greatest Survivor season of all time.
Watch Anthony Matt weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m. on Live Local CBS3 Duluth. CBS3 Weather is brought to you by St. Luke's.
Today, we faced a 60 to 70% chance for rain, and for a lot of towns, that chance has paid off. Here on my deck with my scientific rain gauge, yeah, we've managed 0.4 of an inch, making a 3D movie here, I guess. A little more rain is possible tonight through tomorrow morning, but then things are going to start to get pretty sunny around here. And if temperatures cool down for a lot of towns today, they'll perk up again by tomorrow. So let's take a look at the high temps that came into the region today. Of according to our latest maps, and we're going to see that towards International Falls. It was still on the warmer side. You know, yesterday towns like Moose Lake made it to 70. Today International Falls hit 60, but the rest of the region tumbled into the 40s, and Superior only the upper 30s. But things are going to warm up here as time goes on. Just be patient like we Northlanders are, and things are bound to change within a matter of hours sometimes. So yesterday 70 for some towns, today in 24 hours a big cool down, and right now at the airport in Duluth, only 41 degrees. Relative humidity is 93%. Easterly, northeasterly winds running 9 miles per hour. And our air pressure is just a little notch on the lower side at 29.89 inches of mercury. As two low pressure systems work in tandem here to keep clouds up and rain coming down, at least through early Wednesday morning. So that first low pressure system centered to our south, that's the one that's bringing rain at the moment. But its little brother is to the west, a weaker trough of low pressure that'll follow up and keep that rain chance going like I mentioned through tomorrow morning. So rain totals so far have run anywhere from nothing at all towards places like International Falls to a third to a half inch here in the Duluth area to a little bit over 3/4 in Hayward, and more is coming down. This map actually shows how much more could come across as we go through the overnight. And again, Rangers, you may not get much, and another 1/10 or so for Duluth, but another 1/2 inch to 3/4 for Hayward, another inch towards Phillips. It's going to be a soaker, which could be a good thing, frankly, because starting tomorrow, a dry spell's coming around for much of the next week. Perhaps 4 of the next 7 days are going to be on the drier side. Minnesota tonight, low temperatures. They're going to be probably running, I'm thinking, in the 30s for the most part, to about 40 degrees with a 40% chance for more rain. And into Wisconsin and Michigan, low temps there likely will be in the mid to upper 30s, maybe even the lower 40s as well, with a 60% chance for more rain. Northeast wind affects all towns, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow, in Wisconsin and Michigan, the high temps, they're going to run as cool as 40s in the UP, to as warm as 60 down towards Hayward. Clearing slowly in Wisconsin, but showers may try to cling longer to the terrain in the Upper Peninsula. For Minnesotans tomorrow, could start off showery and rainy in the morning, and then clearing towards partly cloudy in the afternoon. High temps, 50s by the lake, back to the 60s inland. And with the extended forecast, higher pressure coming in tomorrow is going to stick around through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. High temps push back into the 60s even for the Twin Ports. And then start to cool off a bit by Sunday night into Monday, and then next Monday and Tuesday. That's our next rain chance, which right now looks to be only a light one. So after this soaker for some towns, a bit of a dry spell coming around. We may have to start worrying about fire dangers already by the start of the weekend. But we know our P's and Q's around here. Hopefully we'll get by.
All right, thanks, Dave. The impact of being abused as a child doesn't stop when you grow up. Often, many survivors spend years finding ways to cope. During this Child Abuse Awareness Month, CBS3's Emma Quinn sat down with the survivor to learn about his unique way of overcoming trauma and a resource center that wants kids to know they're not alone, especially not right now.
For Duluth native David Brown, looking back on his childhood doesn't always bring fond memories.
They were never evil people, they were just sick people. But that sickness hurts others.
Brown says he suffered abuse at the hands of his parents, who he says also suffered from addiction.
Trying to deal with whatever was going on in their guts and their heads. And they, like I did, struck out at people. I was a target.
Advocates like those at First Witness Advocacy Center in Duluth have made it their mission to ensure no child experiences what Brown did. Their goal is to provide support and inform the community, but COVID-19 has increased the need for child abuse support.
Stress, lack of resources, sometimes issues of substance abuse and issues of lack of family support all contribute to child abuse. And we know that right now there is a heightened sense of stress.
Even though people's daily lives have changed and children may be home with an abuser more often than before, advocates want to remind children and the community support is still available.
There are people out there that believe you and want to keep you safe.
Now, after years of coping with his own abuse, Brown is one of those advocates for children being abused. He's spread awareness of the issue he's all too familiar with by writing several novels about his experience.
And I knew that if I was going to help others find their truths, I had to tell mine. I didn't get a pass. I had to tell the entire truth, not just the comfortable part, all of it.
He hopes his work will help others know they aren't alone.
There will be days when hope is all you have left. Please know that hope is all you will need.
Brown is working on his third novel and plans to be finished writing by the end of May. If you're worried about the well-being of a child, we've included resources you can call on our website, CBS3Duluth.com.
A popular 4th of July celebration in Gordon, Wisconsin has been canceled. The annual Gordon Good Neighbor Days event was supposed to start July 3rd. Organizers blame the cancellation on uncertainty surrounding COVID-19. They hope to be back next summer. Coming up in sports, how one local team's community service has far outshined the rest.
For the news that impacts you most, turn to live local CBS 3.
Wake up with Austin and Jenna at 5 a.m. CBS 3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
Purdy Lawn Service, offering mowing, fertilizing, aerating, landscaping, and snow removal in the Duluth Superior area. Call 218-341-9860 for free estimates and visit us on Facebook. Purdy Lawn Service, unbeatable quality and service. Now hiring seasonal and full-time employees.
I've always liked video editing. When I was growing up, I made a lot of YouTube videos about hamsters, and I really love squids. I graduated from a really big high school, so coming to UWS, where it's a lot smaller, it allowed me to really find myself. More opportunities are there for me to explore and find out what I really want to do. One of my overarching dreams is to film and edit a documentary about marine biology. I would say that I am very happy here.
Kristen Vaki, as a fellow Iron Ranger, brings a calmness to our team where she's unflappable.
Kristen Vaki is one of the most respected anchors in this market.
I think her passion for journalism runs really deep in her.
Kristen is the real deal, a pleasure to work with, and you can always count on her.
Get to know Kristen Vaki, weeknights on live local CBS 3.
Vaping has been declared a national epidemic among youth. 1 in 3 high schoolers vape in northeastern Minnesota.
My child started having seizures from vaping. There's still so many unknown chemicals.
One vape cartridge has as much nicotine as at least 2 packs of cigarettes.
My child was hospitalized with severe lung injuries.
They said it was no big deal.
My child said it was no risk.
That it was under control.
That's what my child said. But what could I have said? Get the facts and talk to your child today.
Mining. It's a part of Minnesota's history that affects everyone in the Northland still to this day. From environmental issues to economics and so much more. Join me, Kristen Vaki, every Tuesday for Eye on Mining, a fair and unbiased report that answers the tough questions surrounding the world of mining.
Eye on Mining with Kristen Vaki. Tuesdays at 10 only on live local CBS 3. Brought to you by Iron Mining Association.
When a crisis strikes, cash is the best form of relief. It can easily be transformed into health services, water, food, or clothes. Cash can travel everywhere and aid people all around the world. Donate. Smart. Fast. Donate cash.
Watch Anthony Matt weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m. on live local CBS 3 Duluth.
Welcome back into sports. The University of Minnesota Duluth Athletics Department prides itself in being pretty dominant in a lot of different sports. But something that you might not know about UMD is that they also pride themselves in the community involvement, specifically with its athletes. In fact, UMD women's soccer tops the entire nation amongst Division II schools in community service hours for soccer. From June 1st of last year up until now, the team has racked up 1,249 hours. That's the highest among any other sport at UMD as well. Community service has always been a staple for women's soccer. If you look on social media, most recently the players did spent Earth Day picking up trash and just taking care of the earth.
One of our sayings is classroom competition community. So our school as a whole just really stems from the community and giving back, and sports are a huge thing for the city. So I think that's one of the reasons. Another one is just that values from our coaches and just from the girls that they recruit. I think that we all just have the same values in wanting to give back to the people that support us the most.
As a captain, Emily played a huge role in laying the groundwork and opportunities for her teammates. A lot of volunteering came from what the players were passionate about as well.
A lot of girls do stuff on their own, too. They don't even have it be a team thing or team related. One of the girls on the team went and volunteered at a bear sanctuary this whole summer, and just doing whatever we love and just incorporating volunteering into it is kind of how we got all those hours and stuff.
Here's a list of the top 5 schools in Division II soccer that lead the nation in community service. UMD is followed by Georgia Southwestern, University of Mary, Georgian Court, and Emporia State. 3 total NSIC teams, the conference that UMD women's soccer is in, crack the top 10. And switching gears, the 2020 NFL draft is barely over, but the league is already looking ahead to next year. The 2021 NFL draft is now headed to Cleveland from April 29th to May 1st. The Cleveland Browns will serve as the event's host, but the entire city of Cleveland is sure to put on quite a show for football fans around the city, including the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Fittingly, 2021 also marks the 75th anniversary of the Cleveland Browns. I was just making a joke about the Browns there. This year's draft that was slated for Las Vegas was moved to a virtual event due to the spread of the coronavirus, but that didn't stop an estimated 55 million people from tuning in over the 3 days of the draft. I knew a lot of people would be tuning into the draft this year, but not 55 million. That's pretty darn crazy. I'm going to send it back to you guys.
Thanks, Kelly. Tonight on the CBS3 News at 10, before COVID-19, there were some major mining projects that entered the environmental review process. That includes Twin Metals, which hopes to open an underground copper nickel mine near Ely, as well as Polymet. Tonight we're hearing from the DNR on how they're handling these projects in the midst of a health pandemic.
If you're looking for fun online, the popular Google Doodle games, well, they're back. It's the perfect distraction during the pandemic and a great way to fill the time. For the next 2 weeks, Google is going to feature a popular game from a past doodle every single day. Over the years, Google has featured an impressive number of games and mini games on its homepage. And running for the next 2 weeks, Google is launching a new series of 10 doodles. Each one is a callback to one of the company's popular games. There's going to be something for everyone from kids to multiplayer games. And hey, if you want to learn more about those doodles, guess what? You can just Google it.
Just like everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you back here at 10.